Do you feel like your life is going just fine without God? If things go well without prayer, if you feel peace without worship, and if your life flows without the word, this may not be a blessing, but a dangerous warning. Satan is skilled at giving you a life that seems stable without God, because what he ultimately wants is not your pain, but your destruction. Proverbs 14:12 warns, "There is a way that appears to be right, but in the end it leads to death." You may be enjoying peace right now, but you must discern whether that peace is coming from God's presence or from spiritual numbness. The first sign in those who think they're fine without God is the dulling of their conscience. Sin no longer stings, the word no longer convicts, and pride creeps in as they mistake personal success for God's favor. What once felt like a miracle is now seen as normal. People start to believe their achievements come from their own efforts or strategies. They subtly take God's place, speaking of faith outwardly, but inwardly living self-directed lives. Prayers go unanswered, worship feels dry, and the Holy Spirit no longer moves you. But the real danger is when you become comfortable with that silence. If you no longer feel urgency when God is silent, it means you've adapted to a life without Him. Just like the church in Laodicea from Revelation 3:17, you may think you are rich and doing well, but in reality you are poor, blind, and naked. On the outside, everything looks fine, but inwardly you are spiritually disconnected from God. God's discipline may be painful, but it is meant to restore you. God's silence, however, is the beginning of being lost. That's why now is the time to return. The belief that you're fine without God may be the most terrifying sign that He's no longer intervening in your life. What matters to God is not your success, but your obedience. Now is the moment to recognize the grace you've taken for granted. If you no longer hear His voice, it's time to kneel and say, "God, I've forgotten you." Prosperity without God is not a blessing, it could be a quiet trap that destroys your soul. If you don't wake up now, later might be too late.